Good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy Cheeto here on the cast today for an upper division game. I'm joined today by Cookie. How are we today, Cookie?
I am great. Looking forward to this game, Cheeto.
Yeah, we've got Archies versus Daves on the cast today in the upper division. As you can see on the screen, the current standings are up. These two teams hovering in third and fourth right now, both with 1 win and 1 loss. Archies with 3 points over Daves on 2. So Archies obviously picking up a loss in a 2-1 set, but there's clearly a lot of favouritism towards Daves, purely because of Tyromatized, right?
Yeah, the lower division player who actually went up to upper division. Really, somebody that we want to be looking at here.
Absolutely, we have some very good players on these teams, and this is going to be one banger of a set, that is for sure. We're looking at these players, and I mean straight away, two people who point out to me are Archie and Platomi on the Dave side.
Yeah, I think those are also just two players who are well known to work really well together in the same team. So,
Yeah,
looking forward to
absolutely.
see that synergy happening.
Yeah, we're going to move on to picks and bans now, and we're going to straight off the rip. We're going to pop in a AMC ban for Archies. It's going to be followed by a Loki on the side of Dave's. We're going to then see a Yu Wong from Archies, and then a Yimoja from Dave's. These first 4 bans for these teams. We're then going to see a Kepri on the ban side of Archies.
I think he cut out. All right. Well, we're seeing a Daji on the Dave side. So far, I'd say pretty standard bans, except for the Loki. All quite meta picks, especially the Jimoja. And on Archies, the first pick is going to be a Hercules. The Hercules pick, I don't know. It's something that we don't see a lot. Wait, was that Cheeto coming back? No, it wasn't. Okay, the Hercules pick, something that we don't see a lot. Wondering if that'll be a support or a solo lane pick. On the other side, though, Lancelot and Artio being picked up. Lancelot being a very nice pick, just a very well-rounded pick, I guess. And the Artio probably being picked up for the solo lane here. I don't know if Tyromatized is somebody who has an Artio special in their sleeve, but it's something that we will see this game.
Yeah, I do apologise. I think it was my internet that just absolutely cried itself to sleep. But I am back around now. I do apologise. But we are, you've pretty much just got it in a nutshell, I think, to be honest. I think Lancelot and Artio gives a lot more value than what Hercules does, let's be honest.
I don't know. It depends on how well the Hercules... Because some teams will just have better synergy with the Hercules than Lancelot and Artio can offer. It's just going to depend on those other 4 picks, really.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that as well. I mean, all of the bans pretty straightforward as I would look at it. Yimoja in the higher tier of play. Ooh, this is something I'm interested to look at, and that's going to be Sasano that's locked in for Archies. And we have seen this buff, this god recently receive a buff as well, so it's going to be nice to see how this plans out for Archies.
Yeah.
The Emiya and the Jablonke on the other side for Dave's as well going to be locked in. And that's rounding out the first round of these picks and bans. We're going to go into the next phase now. Dave popping in an E-set ban, with followed up by Archies with a Cabrakan. But we're probably going to see Dave's look to be locking in a support mid in this next round, I would imagine. And on the opposite side, we're probably going to see an ADC and a mid laner from Archies as well. We are going to see a Baba Yaga that's going to be banned, and then a Persephone also banned, so taking out one of the big team fighting ults.
Yeah, I am liking these bans so far. Taking away a lot of the very common picks, making so that both teams have to go a little more unconventional when it comes to their team comp.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% like the Cabrakan ban, and this is some spice that's going to be locked in here from Dave, and that's going to be a Ra.
I was gonna say, so far Dave's looking to be a bit more on the safety side, like the more comfortable gods, the more well-known gods, and then suddenly the raw pick. That is definitely throwing me off.
Yeah, no. In terms of like, you were saying more towards comfort picks. Ra could definitely look to be a comfort pick for Platomi. It's a god that's very, very rarely picked, especially in a comp setting. We'll see how this does on Platomi, and we're going to see a Cupid locked on the other side, and also followed by a Morrigan. And I like those two picks in general. I think Cupid's just an absolute demon right now.
Yeah.
And then the Morrigan is definitely spicy, because the value is actually pretty high. I think what he gets out of Morrigan, with Dave's having a Lancelot, and between the Ra to give them some sort of objective steal, it's going to be pretty big, I would imagine.
Yeah, that Morrigan definitely has a lot of good targets for the ult, and just when in doubt, transform into Cupid, have that second ult into the team fight. That's gonna be offering a lot of CC, a lot of zone control, which is very nice for Archies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure as well, Ra's ult got a buff in the last patch, if I'm right.
I am
may
not
be
entirely
wrong,
certain.
but I'm pretty sure it got a buff. But the last the last pick, should I say, is going to be a Humbats locked in for Dave's, and that rounds out the picks and bans for these teams. If you're going to look at these teams, who do you think would you say gets the advantage in this picks and bans, Cookie?
I would say Dave's actually still. Definitely that last pick, that Hun Butts, is really going to annoy the backline of Archies, considering that they don't really have a lot of CC immunity. It's really going to come down to is Nico's going to be able to harass the backline of Dave's enough so that they actually have to like have the distance between them, or is Hun Butts just going to absolutely harass the backline together with Dio?
The other question for me would be, obviously, I would imagine that this Artio is going into support. So is that going to cause more problems for Daves than it is going to help them, with Archies maybe not being able to being able to dive them a little bit easier due to maybe not getting peel with an Artio? Maybe this Artio is looking to dive a little bit more.
Yeah, that could definitely be the case.
Yeah, so I mean, like, well, I'm looking at these comps, and I personally prefer the Dave's comp. But I mean, maybe this Artio could cause them some problems in terms of wanting to dive and maybe leaving their backline a little bit open. That's what I would say, at least. But I may be wrong. It may be something that Dave's team has looked about.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting watching what is going to happen. Which team is going to get those upper hands in those team fights? I think you're definitely right about that Artio being, how do I say it? A bit of a.
I'm gonna say
I'm thinking in
spicy
Dutch
pick.
currently. Yeah, a spicy pick is probably the way we want to be
Spicy is
wording
what
that.
it is.
Yeah.
It definitely is. Because I mean, like, it's either going to help them dive or it's going to cost them massively. But we'll see what happens in terms of that.
Exactly. Going into the game, though, I'm looking at these builds currently. Nothing too unusual so far. The only thing that I can say that is really unusual is the Xbalanque with the Warrior's Axe.
Yeah, Xbalanque does have Warrior's Axe locked in, and we are going to see the supports go for different starter items. It looks like, is it going to be is it a Void Stone pickup from, sorry, Stone of Fall? Or what's the other one? Stone of Binding is the one maybe Artio is going to go into. So
Although
we're about to see
that
something
could
different.
definitely be a Void Stone.
It definitely could, and we're going to see Dave's side actually pick up the pressure, which is quite interesting, especially when Archies have a Ymir. We're going to see Dave's pick up the Oracles as well, which is definitely going to be nice for them. I think in terms of lane pressure, Daves are going to definitely have a fun time with this Artio over there, and Demon's actually going to take a lot of poke.
Although you gotta remember that having the Ymir will also just provide you with a lot of pressure. So it's gonna depend, I think, on who is going for their buffs when, and it's gonna go back and forth a lot in that lane.
We're going to talk about Nikos soloing Tyromatize in the first minute and a half.
Well, I think that's enough said already. To be honest, it's yeah.
It's a very, very early pickup kill for Archies there, and Nikos getting that kill early, it's going to be phenomenal for them. I just don't know if you want to try and fight a Hercules within the first couple of levels, because that pick is spicy.
Yeah, definitely
We
not.
are still seeing a lot of pressure over in the duo side as well. Demon actually nearly fell as Nikos got that solo kill. We are going to see Archie also make for the blue buff and make sure that Archies doesn't take that invade. One thing that's going to be very noticeable in these sets is going to be the return of Scepter in the latest patch. And through playing the game myself, I've noticed it massively helps, especially in terms of pressure. That's a huge freeze from Demon there, who manages to get a little bit of peel for his team, but himself and Dave Skater are going to have to back it right up into the tower, and maybe Dave's will look for a invade here onto the purple buff of Archies.
That could indeed be very interesting to see. Although the Ymir does have Hawk, so he is probably still going to be able to secure that if they try to invade.
That was an absolutely massive ultimate there from Nikos, who pulls off a lot of damage, and we are going to see Susano pop over to the purple buff and make sure it doesn't get invaded there.
Disco Fairy putting some extra pressure onto that Cupid, but eventually they're able to retreat, so going back into their tower line.
Other than that, not really much to talk about. One thing that is noticeable is both the mid laners rushing into flat pen. And now, with the recent revert, we're going to see a blink into the mid lane from Archie. Ultimate is popped and the beads in return from Morrigan, but nothing else is going to come of that. It's definitely good to get those beads popped, especially in the early. And we're going to see a little bit of pressure gained from Dave's now, on the other hand of getting those beads. Ragnarok isn't going to give them up for free though, and they are contested. Looks like everyone's just going to go back to farming. Susano's actually going to choose to back here, and we are going to see Nikos look for an invade on the blue buff. Archie is around, and ultimate's pop from both Nikos and Tyromatize there.
Nikos actually securing the blue buff though.
Yeah, he did get it. He got what he wanted. And it looks like he's going to just walk away.
Tyromatize is also very wounded now, so he needs to watch out.
With that TP not available for about the next 10 seconds, he's probably going to look to clear the wave and then back and return with the TP. Disco Ferry actually taking a freeze here, and the side of Dave's literally sat on the tower line of Archies right now. This cannot be fun for these boys.
Yeah, it's currently still very passive smite. A lot of farming. I think when we get into the mid game, a lot of fighting is gonna start happening. But they need to get that power online. They need to get those items in their builds first.
Exactly that, and as I was saying before, both of the mids going into flat pen, and this is like a remnants of what the mid lane meta used to be before the changes in flat pen. It was like obviously the revert, and now changing the flat pen items back to 15 flat pen rather than 12. Maybe we'll see this become more meta per se.
Yeah, definitely possible. Flat pen's still holding a lot of power to itself, but we're gonna have to see how that's gonna play out in the long term.
Yeah, especially with the we are going to see Susano actually come in here and going to find himself taking a fight. Archie has to pop the ult to be able to get out of there, and beads are going to be popped as well for Artio.
Oh, there's Epic Ducker.
we're going to see a lot happening right now, and ults from 2 members of Dave's popped, and one on the other hand of Sasana on Archies. A couple of beads are going to be popped as well. We're going to see beads pop from Artio, but nothing actually comes of it, other than actually a bit of pressure gained from Archies. And Nikos is just going to take the blue buff of Tyromatize again.
Nikos has just claimed that buff. He was like, "This is now my second blue buff."
It absolutely is, and we are going to see a fight break out in mid. Beads are going to have to be popped by Plutonium. Searing Pain is also going to come through. Ymir's in a really tough spot. Davros is really, really low, and Archiebaker actually manages to pick up the kill there onto Morrigan, and they're just going to walk away. They're going to take what they got. Ymir is also forced to back, and we're going to see just the confirmation of the mid-neutrals from Dave's.
Mm-hmm. Archie's being slightly ahead of Dave's currently, meaning that they're probably doing a little bit better when it comes to getting those totems, getting those speed camps, those neutrals.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see Dave's not actually try to invade the Scorpion of Archies there, and with the pressure that they gained between killing the Morrigan and forcing the Ymir to back, they maybe could have looked for something on that part.
Interestingly enough, the RTO did in fact go for Stone of Binding and is now going for those Manticore spikes. Already seeing a Manticore spikes on the land slot so far. Still a very strong item even after the nerf.
Yeah, absolutely, and this Stone of Binding is definitely interesting. On the other hand, we're going to see Ymir pick up the Mail of Renewal. I mean, that's going to be pretty annoying for anybody coming anywhere near him. Tyromatize is actually going to get ganked here. He has to pop his ultimate to be able to get out. Nikos is just going to opt to take the back and do what he wants. Fields of Love is going to be popped, and basics need to be on point, but a 3-man rotation and ultimate is going to be popped from Humbats there. Demon is here on the other hand. Ultimate is going to be popped from Jablonke. Nothing going to come of the rotation, other than Tyromatize getting absolutely fried over in the solo lane as a 3-man rotation makes his way over, and Archie's blue buff is purple buff is going to be invaded, and it looks like Dave's going to pull the Gold Fury here on the other hand, as the rest of Archies just looks to invade the back jungle. Ymir is around, and Dave's is going to confirm the Gold Fury with the Searing Pain raw ultimate ability, and Demon's also going to fall, giving Dave's a little bit more value off of that Gold Fury pull as well.
Yeah, it was definitely a very good rebound off of Dave's. They saw that they weren't going to be able to get Dave Skater in the lane, so they were just like, you know what, we cut our losses, we're taking this Gold Fury. They get it, and they get Demon in the process, which is just a very nice bonus.
Yeah, it was really nice for them, especially after Tia falling on the other side of the map. For them to actually get something, it was really nice for them.
Exactly. It also pushes Dave's ahead slightly in gold, getting a more equal playing field now. Maybe even turning the tides a little bit.
Yeah, that is for sure. And I mean, the main thing right now is going to be the Hercules that's actually ahead. And we are going to see Archies look to now try and force something on to the Pyro side of the map. And Archies managed to pick up the Pyromancer. Ultimates are going to be popped from 2. Tyromatizer is going to pick up the kill on to Sasano. And we're now going to see Morrigan turn into the Lancelot as well. It's a big fight breaking out here now. We're currently looking at a 4v3, now a 4v2. Ultimate's going to be popped from Hunbats in return. Demon's also going to fall. Platomi picking up a double kill, and that is very, very nice for Dave's after losing that Pyromancer.
Yeah, that was a really good engage from Tyromatized after that slightly, how do you say it, maybe bumpy early game. Now he's able to get that redemption arc going, that engage, and just being able to pick up that kill, opening the space for Ptolemy to get those other two is really nicely played.
Yeah, something that shows the instant quality of this Dave's team is them getting pressure and wanting to take that tier 1 mid tower down as soon as they possibly can, because that opens the map up for them. Usually, with these both these objectives down now, I just want to see Daves try to maybe group up a little bit, try and force something out of Archies, try and force some relics, try and force maybe they get a kill. Who knows? With the comp that they have, it's definitely easy to pick someone if they're not in the right position.
Yeah.
We are going to see Nikos pop the ult there onto the minions on the solo, and he's just going to kind of bully out Tyromatize more than anything. Kind of just solo lane, doing solo lane things, and Artio is going to be looked at. Susano and Jimmy are both around. This Artio actually does a lot of damage, but here comes Susano as well, and Disco Ferry is going to take a lot of damage. The Yamiyamol's slightly off the mark, and Artio is now going to be able to walk away with her 2-level lead still in hand.
Yeah. Something interesting I'm looking at is the fact that you said the flat pen on the mages. They actually both went for an extra flat pen item. So
Double flat pen.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting build. I don't think I've seen it that much yet, which is always exciting to see how those things play out. But it seems to be playing out very well.
Over onto Jablonke. Ultimate is going to be popped from Susano, and Fields of Love also going to be dropped, and no beads available for X-Ball, and T-Romatize falls extremely low as well, managed to get out by the skin of his teeth. But duo lane, Susano managing to pick up a successful gank onto the X-Ball. Yeah, as we were saying, the double flat pen's not been built in quite a while, and this Artio might find herself in a little bit of trouble here. Just kind of gonna walk at them and bully them and walk away, I guess.
I mean, do Artio things, right?
Yeah, pretty much do what he wants. But yeah, I mean, double flat pen hasn't been really built for past couple of seasons. Maybe the reverts and the change in the pen is going to help them maybe take a rebound. We are going to see Dave's grouping up now towards this Gold Fury side of the map. Gold lead is pretty much not really even noticeable. It's about 1,000, 1,500 towards the side of Dave's. The most important part of this this Gold Fury is going to be the pressure that Dave's have in mid lane, with no security of that mid lane tier 1 tower.
Yeah, I think the next objective fight is also going to be very important, considering who is going to fall and who is going to be able to push forward from the objective fight.
Exactly that, and we're going to take a quick look at the relics, and both solo laners not having TP available, but other than that, literally everybody has what they want and what they need. All relics available from both of the teams, so maybe we'll see a very fair fight here on this Oni Fury, because none of these teams is going to want to give this up.
Something interesting I also see is that the Artio actually opted to get B, probably for the Cupid ult, so that she's able to get out if it is really necessary. Yeah,
between that and the Ymir and the stun off of Morrigan and the pull off of Susano, this Archie's team comp actually has a lot of CC, and you don't actually realise it.
Yeah, it's a lot of sneaky CC.
Yeah, it certainly is, and this Cupid currently in a lot of trouble in his lane, just sat under the tower, just not even being able to play the game, but still, he's keeping up. A very noticeable thing is the Odibo being picked up for this Jablonke after Transcendence. Does that help his power curve, or?
I would say it does. That Transcendence, especially when it's fully stacked, is going to give you just a ton of power, and then Odibo being able to scale off of that is just going to be a huge help in wave clear, but also just in poke in general.
Nikos is going to rotate over towards the mid lane and actually pick up a kill onto Platomi. Ultimate's going to be popped from Humbats, and we're going to see a lot of battling out in the mid lane now. Dave's losing one member of their team no relic sacrifice for Platomi. Currently a 4v3. Sasano's going to walk away. He likes what he got. They don't want anything else. I'm really surprised that that Archies actually don't walk towards any sort of objective after that. Even the Pyromancer, with the amount of burn potential that they have, and the amount of very good zoning that Nikos will be able to provide, I'm really surprised that they don't walk to some sort of objective after that.
Maybe they are afraid that if they walk up to a objective, that the other team might then respond by going to the other one, which might actually be very dangerous.
It's very, very possible, and with both of these teams having some sort of vision on these objectives, it looks like I see a ward onto Pyromancer for Daves, and then on the other hand as well, we see Archies with the wards on the Gold Fury and Daves as well. So maybe both of them a little bit. It's actually the Oracles that have picked up 4 Daves, so we are going to see Sasano walk over towards duo side of the map. Daffy Ducker is going to look for a back, but he is going to blink, and the Aegis is going to be sacrificed. Ultimate's going to be popped, and is he going to manage to pick up the kill? No, he takes the tower here, and Daffy Ducker actually manages to pick up the kill onto Ragnarok. That is a nuts kill there. It costs him his Aegis, but I mean, that is worth it. That is 100% worth it for Daves here, and that is massive, because this X-Ball's now going to walk up the lane, and it puts Daves in the running seat.
Yeah.
Tyra is rotating over. Miss Morrigan is going to just get bullied off of her red buff, and Tia's going to walk said red buff, and they are actually going to pick up the invade onto it as well. Demon's going to be walked away from the objective as well, and now that X-Ball is around here on this Gold Fury, we're going to see Daves pick up this objective.
Yeah, it just goes to show that how much a little small miscalculation and maybe health of a tower shot or something can just impact a game really hard. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's very good awareness from Daves to know what they are doing, and Daffy, an incredible solo play from what he just did, and I am noticing that Daves are now going to walk over towards a Pyromancer as well. Archies didn't decide to contest them on the Oni Fury, and now Dave's just pick up the Pyromancer as well for absolutely free, giving them now a 3,000 gold lead. And I'm going to point something out right now. Is this going to be a Griffin Wings from from the X-Ball?
Yeah, it does look to be a Griffin Wing.
It is a
I guess
Griffin
it
Wing.
makes sense, considering that his ult is like increasing his attack range, right? So he wants those basics to go really fast. I can see the value of it.
Yeah,
Something
sense.
else. Something else though. Is this a triple flat pen Morrigan that I'm seeing?
Yes. So on Morrigan, it's a very, very noticeable thing usually. It's purely because of, so like, as a Morrigan, you're wanting to try and get into a backline. Ultimate's going to be popped here from Sasano, and Ra's going to do a hell of a lot of damage, and Ultimate's going to come through from Platomi and actually pick up the kill onto Sasano there. And, I mean, Daves aren't done there. They are still absolutely running it down towards this mid-tier 2 tower, and they are not done. A couple of ults are going to be sacrificed, and they pick up the kill and the red buff invade. They're actually going to look over towards this this duo side as well, and maybe get some pressure over there.
Lancelot meeting the Morrigan there also?
Yeah, Teo just wants a kiss, mate. He wants a kiss. As we were saying, I mean, so like, triple flat pen makes sense on Morrigan, because she wants to get into a backline and actually try to hit one of Dave's backline players, so either this X-Ball or this Ra. It's kind of just how you play the god, and obviously with none of them buying protections, it doesn't really matter. Ultimate Fields of Love is going to be popped, and Ymir ult in return, and Disco Ferry does fall for that, and here comes Morrigan actually diving and pick up a kill onto the X-Ball. Is going to take a lot of poke. Tia's in a really bad place here, and that's a very good Ymir wall. Is the heart going to be a stun? And no, it isn't, but Nikos is going to pick up that kill onto Tyromatized. anyhow. 3 members of Dave's fallen in that fight.
Yeah, the gold lead that Dave's had has accrued over the last few minutes has completely vanished. They're back on an even playing field now.
Yeah, we are. On the other hand, we. Oh my! I don't even know what to say. Apart from the fire giant being pulled, Archies now. I mean, they can do it. Archie is around, and Ultimate is going to be popped by Hercules to confirm that, and they know that Archie Baker is around. Leap's going to pull through, and Ultimate is going to be forced to be popped. Nikos, that is a monstrous pull, and Sasano picking up another kill. The beads were used from the Hercules, but it's not going to be enough for Archie to get out of there, and it just absolutely ran him down. This Hercules is a problem now. Level 20, he's got that hero's axe. He's going to be walking people down, and he has so much HP. Did you see that heal right there?
Yeah.
Did you see that heal?
I think,
And,
it was just a very, very unlucky timing for Ptolemy there to get picked there. Him being the only one who could actually steal that with his ult, that just gave Archies completely free reign over what was going to happen to that fire giant.
Daves do not want to give up this tier 2 fire, and Archies do have the fire giant. Dave's Skater takes a lot of poke from that Rarul, and Traumatized is going to pick up the kill for it. This Dave's frontline does not want to give anything up, and by frontline I also mean that the support is there. Nikos is around though, and Platomi is in his sights, but he's going to take a lot of poke, and all attention is going to now be onto him. Humbats pops ultimate. Nikos walks away as fast as he possibly can. They are going to expend the Cupid, but the rest of them get out.
Well, yeah, the Cupid, of course, being the most important cog in the machine currently. Having Cupid, having that fire buff is just gonna absolutely melt towers. So this probably bought Dave's a lot more time than they initially had.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to see Dave's actually up to pick up the fire, to pick up the Gold Fury now, and Archies don't want to give it up. Nikos is here, so is Demon. Ultimate is going to be popped from Platomi and from Nikos. Dave's picks up the Gold Fury, but here comes Morrigan, picks up Platomi here and actually kills him. They don't want to give a thing up, and Disco Ferry could be in a very rough spot here because Sasano smells him and is just going to absolutely run him down. Pole's going to be on point, and the amount of pen that this Sasano has, he is frying right now. Currently top damage on the stats, 15,120. This front line of Archers is really causing problems for Daves.
Yeah, exactly. That Hercules is just a big monster, a big bully that just wants to W key at the enemies at this point.
We are actually going to see Archies walk into the Phoenix. Blink's going to be popped from Archie Baker, and Ultimate's also going to be popped. Sasano falls, unfortunately, and that is going to be X-Ball that picks up that kill. A lot just happened in a very little amount of time, and Archies are now walking away.
I think Archies are looking for that mid-tier 2. Oh no, never mind. They are just absolutely retreating.
I don't think they can, because here comes Dave's on the offensive, and this Fire Giant is going to be spawning in around the next roughly minute and a half. It's actually a minute and 15 seconds, should I say. I do see the timer there. I stink. But, yeah. We're now getting to the stage of the game where, I mean, the gold lead is literally... there isn't one. Nobody has a gold lead. These fights are literally as close as they could get now, with Dave's actually throwing away over a 3,000 gold lead, and Dave's are going to be the first people to step up, and they are going to look for the Pyromancer. Archies is going to be around, and Ultimate's going to be popped from Nikos, but unfortunately it's not going to come through, and he's going to look to just back away now. But it is going to be stopped, and Archiebaker's going to be looking for Nikos, but Nikos wants him. He tries to actually pull him in, but unfortunately doesn't manage to get it off. But here comes the Fire Giant dance that we have been waiting for. Fire Giant spawning in the next 15 seconds now. Everyone is around. Hercules just teleported up to lane, and well, now we can see what both of these teams have got, because this is fair square as it could get. Disco Ferry is going to be caught out in a very, very rough position. Beads are going to be popped, and it does manage to get him out of there, but other than that, nothing really coming from it, other than a bit of poke onto Disco Ferry, who was stepped up a little bit too high. Mail of Renewal is also going to be propped there as well. Archie Baker's looking around the side and looking to try and pick up this Cupid, but he's going to get hit by a basic and just kind of walk away in the different direction. There's not a great deal happening right now. Archie does opt to go towards his speed buff. I mean, the information isn't going to be related to Archies though, unfortunately. Pull is going to come on point for Disco Ferry, and Sasano's actually going to opt to walk to the mid lane, and it's going to opt Daves to walk in here. Fields of Love is going to be popped, and X-Ball in return. That's 2 ults expended for both teams, and Tyromatize is going to get poked here. Nothing really matters to him though, because he can just heal up. And here comes a blink ult from Archie Baker, hitting 3. Beads are going to be popped by the Morrigan there. Sorry, not the Morrigan, by the Ra. And it wasn't even a Ra. It was it was Sasano and Hercules. But both teams again just opting to back up. Dave's now with the pressure, and this is a very, very long-winded fight for both teams.
Both teams also having somebody who just has to go to base, so this is just gonna extend the length of the fight. At this point, this is just a battle of attrition, like who is going to be able to hold out the longest against the other team.
Yeah, I would definitely agree on that, and Archies don't want to give anything up, because they are going to look to dive again, and they are now going to walk away. Searing Pain is going to be on point, and Sasano also pops ult. Archie Baker's going to walk away. All members of Archies now in a very, very, very rough position. Platoon managed to get off Archie also managed to put in a lot of work. Nikos is going to pop, walk in there, and Archie Baker, did he just pop ult again? Did he pop ult twice? How quick is that cooldown? Here comes Nikos though, and Nikos actually may be in trouble, but the healing is going to prove to be really, really helpful for him. I swear I saw Archie pop his ult twice there.
Yeah, he does have 40% cooldown, so that could be part of it, but that was indeed very, very fast.
That was very quick, and we are going to see Daves actually pick up the Fire Giant now. Tyromatize is just going to walk it at this Cupid, and Daves picks up the Fire Giant, which unfortunately is only a standard Fire Giant and not an EFG.
Oh, I don't know if that's a misplay or if that was intentional, like them not wanting to wait too long on that Fire Giant, or more of them just not watching the clock.
We are going to opt to see them walk over towards the Oni Fury now, though. Maybe they want to get something out of this this Fire Giant that they just got, because with the Oni Waves and the Fire Giant, he could this could definitely prove good for Daves. Archies don't want to give it up though, even though Daves have the Fire Giant. They are going to be around and here to contest on this Oni Fury, and surely Daves wants this fight. This is the thing that they want. Searing Pain is going to be just off of the mark for Platomi. That's an ultimate that is expended, but I mean it has the 30% cooldown and the Spear of Desolation available, so Blink's going to be popped there, and Fields of Love comes down. So's the there is a lot of ults being popped right now, and we're going to see Morrigan pick up a kill there onto Tyromatized. Archie Baker pick up a kill onto the Cupid, and that's 1 down for each side. Nikos is still going to be hanging around, and we are going to see Archie actually pick up a kill onto Ragnarok there. The beads are also going to be popped as well. for Archie to be able to pick those up. Platomi pick up a kill onto Demon, and Ymir is going to fall, but Nikos is still hanging around and wants to fight here. These fights are so close that I don't know what is happening, because Archies loses 3 team members there. Dave's expends Tyromatized, and Platomi going really, really big again. And honestly, this X-Ball is doing a lot of damage as well, now topping the damage charts for the whole game. And we're just going to see Dave's walk back to the Oni Fury.
Yeah, they're like, we have fended you off. You are not here anymore. This is now completely our property.
X-Ball was going to die to that. Like 100% going to die to that.
I think at this point Daves are just cleaning up the entire map and preparing for probably a siege on right. On dual side.
They do have Fire Giant available on 4 members of their team.
Although, if they are going to go into siege, they might have to hurry, because that Fire Giant is only going to last for another minute.
Absolutely is, and what we are going to see is grouping around the Fire Giant again. Archies may be looking for something with this Trebuchet being on the map. They are looking here, and they are looking for the X-Ball, and here comes Nikos, and is going to be around him. Ragnarok taking a hell of a lot of poke. Tyromatize actually picking up the kill there, and maybe Tyromatize falls. Maybe he doesn't, but Platomi is actually going to pick up a kill onto Nikos as well, and Demon manages to finally pick up Tyromatize there as well. Tyromatize just zoning like hell, whilst the front line of Archies crumbles. Nikos trying to walk into like 4 people there and taking a hell of a lot of damage, and Blink ult is going to be popped from Archie. He's going to look at Dave Skate, who is going to dash away, and Demon's going to be really, really low, and he's going to be X-Ball that picks him up. Archie picks up a kill onto the Morrigan as well, and that's 4 members of Archie's now dead.
This is straight up game.
At this stage in the game, Ultimate's going to be popped from Platomi, Searing Pain, and that's just rounded off. They said, Cupid, we're going to kill your Titan and we're going to kill you as well. But that is going to be game 1, going towards Dave's there, in what I would call a very close game.
Definitely, that game was completely even up until that Fire Giant fight where Daves were able to just fend off Archies far enough so that they were able to take it, and from there on it was pretty much just a snowball rolling bigger and bigger up until the point where they were able to just siege that mid Phoenix and take the game.
Exactly that, and obviously this X-Ball putting in so much damage and so much work for the side of Dave's. Platomi hitting a hell of a lot of those ults, and honestly Tyromatize doing a really good job of just zoning people out, while I think honestly Dave's played from back to front, and it definitely worked for them.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'd like to nominate Tyromatize as #1 decoy at this point. He was able to just distract that enemy backline very, very well, so that his backline was able to just put in those damage numbers.
#1 decoy. Tyromatize was having a really, really rough early game, but pulled it back so well in the late game. Did work and did exactly what he needed to do. Honestly, it's really, really tough for Archies to win this game, because honestly they were doing so much, and I if I'm looking at this game, I'm thinking Nikos was a demon. Like, that man caused so many issues.
Oh, absolutely. He was just so big, so unstoppable, up until that point where the ADC comes online, and then it's just, yeah, you might have your protections, you might have your health, but I have, just percent pen and kin size, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly that. Dave's taking the 1-0 currently onto Archie's first game. We are going to head to a quick break whilst we wait for the teams to get into game 2, and we will be back with you.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless, you survive. They never lose hope when everything's
Hello, and welcome back to Galeria Smite League. Coming back off of a short break between games 1 and 2. Dave's currently taking the first set, 1. And we're going straight into the picks and bans. The first thing we're going to talk about is what do you think that Archies need to do a little bit better going into this second game?
I think they were very scared of the Daves' presence during those team fights, on those Fire Giant fights especially. And they maybe just retreated a little too fast, or maybe didn't see a specific opening, and that just gave Daves the opportunity to take Fire Giant. Also, I think Tyromatized needs to be... I don't know if Tyromatized needs to be controlled harder, but he needs to be zoned a little more, because he was able to just absolutely push back their that backline.
Yeah, he did a hell of a lot of work, and we're going to start talking about these picks and bans really quickly, and it's pretty much standard as of game 1. The only thing opposite is going to be the Lancelot is going to be banned. We are going to see a Darji locked in first for Daves. Archie's obviously thinking that the second pick is going to give them more value after coming off of that first loss. Maybe they couldn't decide what they want in the first pick, so they opt to take the second pick instead, which they pick up Ravana and Mulan for that.
Yeah, the Ravana probably going jungle, the Mulan going into solo. Some nice high pressure picks, the Ravan we've seen a lot of. It's a very solid pick in general, the Mulan. I don't think we have seen that much. But overall, just a very nice lane bully they're going to be able to do a lot with.
Yeah, Mulan gives Nikos exactly what he wants, and that's going to be him being able to run at Tyromatized basically. And Ravana, I would say, being picked up for the jungle, and is a very, very good jungler right now. On the other side though, we are going to see two gods locked in for Daves, and it's going to be a Cabrakan and a Fuff. And
yeah,
I like, yeah.
Being able to go literally everywhere, everywhere, just being able to go into support or solo, a very nice flex pick. If that's in solo, then he's going to give Mulan a bit of a run for money. But if that's support, then they have a whole other problem to worry about.
I think it would be preferred maybe to go to the support role. That's just me personally. I think it gives Daves more value. But it could definitely be flexed over towards solo lane, although I think Mulan just pulls him out of his tremors every time he tries to use it.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to go into the second round of bans though, and we are going to see Archies opt to ban 2 ADCs, being Jablonke and the Charybdis, and obviously that Jablonke being picked in the first game and doing a hell of a lot of damage, so a little bit of respect maybe on the side of Daffy Ducker towards from Archies.
I think it's definitely a lot of respect. Daffy was just an absolute menace on that Xbalanque, so taking that away from him, like forcing him to play something else, it makes a lot of sense. Also, the Charybdis, a very safe pick. I don't think that Archies want Daffy to get out every single time that they try to gank him. So also a very solid ban right there.
Yeah, definitely. And one pick we do see still available is that Cupid still.
Mm-hmm.
It could maybe be locked in. We are going to see a Heimdall banned out as well as a Geb on the side of Daves. And we're going to see... We're definitely going to see ADC from both lanes. But we are going to see a Baba Yaga locked in for Archers. And honestly, I like this pick, but not into a Cabrakan.
I can see why you would pick the Baba Yaga into the Cabrakan. The Cabrakan ults, and then you just put that Baba Yaga ult there. Of course, it's the enemy team, but still, that's a lot of like space that's just blocked off for everybody. It's also a nice pressure pick. You have a lot of area that you can cover with your abilities. So I kind of like it for Archies here.
Yeah, and we are going to see a staple Tyromatized pick here, and that is going to be Shiva. And if you don't know, this man does work on this god, so we'll see what comes. But something that is spicy that's locked in, a Kronos for Daffy Ducker. A Kronos.
Yeah, I think Daves are maybe experimenting is not the correct word, but it's definitely they are going for the, like you said, the spicy picks. They're trying something here, I think.
Look, if I don't know if he gets like fed enough and he gets to a high level, this Kronos could possibly eat. And I mean, with that that ultimate ability of his, he can turn back time and literally become full HP again. And speaking of becoming full HP again, I mean, Chiron's locked in, who basically gets a second life off of his ult.
Yeah. I think when you look at these comps, I think Dave's when the game goes long, if Archies is able to get any bit of a lead, they are going to run the game. But if Dave's is able to just have the same game as last time, where they are able to just be even up until a very specific point in the late game, they might just take this purely because they have such good late game pressure, whereas Archies might fall off a little bit with that Ravana Mulan and then the Chiron.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at these comps myself, and I'm thinking this fourth's going to have a quite advantage in the game against Baba Yaga. Going to look for quite a lot of poke, and I mean, then on the other hand, you've got a lot of beads burners in the sense of like a Daji, a Kabrakan, even a Kronos. Honestly, it's going to offer a lot of value for that team, I think.
Yeah, there's definitely also that we're going to be looking at. Also, if the Daiji is just able to pull one person, they are going to get absolutely blasted by the amount of burst damage that the Daves have in their comp here.
Yeah, they definitely do. But I mean, I don't dislike this Archies comp. If this Archies comp can get online very early, because Baba Yaga still has very, very good damage and poke damage at that. And I mean, between Ravana and Mulan, that's a very, very heavy dive comp that they have.
Yeah, but it's like I said, like they need to abuse that, I think, very early on, because if this game is going late, it's going to be very difficult for Archies to box up to the amount of power that Dave is going to have.
Exactly that. And one thing that may be crucial towards the outgoing of this game is going to be Platomi obviously hitting all of those searing pains on that Ra in the last game. Is the final judgment going to be the same? If he can hit those 4 faults, then kind of nuts, honestly.
Yeah, it of course has a bit more of travel time, so hitting those is a bit more of a skill shot, I'd say, than hitting the raw snipe. But in itself, it also has the advantage of just being a longer range, so being way more dangerous of an ability in itself.
Yeah, exactly that. And something noticeable straight off the rip is that Archies are going to go for the yellow to red start in order to get some sort of pressure in the mid lane.
Yeah, that start is something that we don't really see a lot unless you, like you said, you really want that pressure, which I can kind of understand when you're up against the Thoth, who is just going to be able to sit under lane. You want to have some pressure built up. You want to be able to maybe dive those people.
Yeah, one problem I find though with the speed to red start is that you pretty much give up all pressure towards the second to third wave, and it basically gives up oracles. And we are going to see a fight over the oracles, and it is going to be Ravana looking for Archie Baker. There's also a fight over to what we call the Jimmy, being the Naga camp that's just been added in to the duo lane again, and it is going to be Disco Ferry that picks that up, and that thing is a menace, is what it is. Archie Baker hanging around towards this duo side, and the oracles were confirmed by Dave's there as well. So it's very nice for them.
Wait, can we rewind real quick? Like, the Jimmy, is that what we're calling it?
It's called that's his nickname, Jimmy. You,
All
you
right.
don't know
Well,
the Jimmy?
no, I haven't heard of Jimmy, but I guess we're
You
calling it
haven't heard
Jimmy from
about the
now.
Jimmy, bro? That's what we call it around here. We call it Jimmy, little Jimmy.
Yeah. All right.
Little Jimmy is correct, is what it is. It's actually called Indra's Scepter, is the real name for it. But yeah, we all
I mean,
call it
I've
Jimmy around
heard
here, bro.
another not PG-14 name for it, so
We are going to see a pause come out from these teams, unfortunately. So it gives us a little bit of time to talk about stuff. First thing noticeable for me is, again, straight into flat pen for both of the mid laners.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. We saw it work last game. It's gonna work this game again. It just gives you a lot of that early, like that raw early power to take down some of the more squishy people in the game. So I can understand why they are doing it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I agree. The other noticeable thing for me is we're going to see, obviously, Eye of the Jungle and then the Spear picked up on the other hand for the jungler. Who do you think this gives an advantage to?
I'm gonna be honest, like my expertise on the jungle items is not the best, but I would say that this in the like when you're looking at the end game, it might actually favor Archies more than it might favor Dave's. Just the fact that that protector of the jungle, that raw increase in power and defense, it's gonna work out really well if they're gonna be fighting over that fire giant again like last game. Although the spear, depending on if it's gonna be a hammer or not, is if it's the hammer, it's gonna give those cooldowns, which is just going to be way more annoying for Archies. But if it's the spear, then that is just extra penetration onto the already very hard hitting Dachi at that point.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely something to look towards the late game, because let's be honest, Daji in the first couple of levels doesn't really do a great deal. I think Ravana, in terms of pressure, is more of an early game based god. We're also going to look at the supports, and Kuzumbo is a pick that you very rarely see picked. But he's going to probably be looking to, is he rushing maybe, I'm not going to say Fablest. It's not Fablest, it's
No, that is going to be
it's
Manticore
going to be
spikes.
Manticore Spikes.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, we see Disco Ferry looking to pick up these maybe the Stone of Binding again.
That is an interesting choice. I think Disco Ferry might just have a pet item at that point.
Maybe. I mean, they picked it up in the last game, right?
Yeah, but actually
they
no. If you
won.
think it procs on hard CC, right? So it makes sense for a Cabrakan to pick it up.
It does definitely make
Or is it
sense.
just an NECC?
Maybe no, it is. It's hard CC.
Okay.
Disco's maybe got some tech, and Tyromatize takes a lot of poke. So does Nikos, and both of them having to run away. Tyromatize actually nearly dies to the minions there. That was something else, is what that was.
Nico's being able to resustain a lot quicker though because of that Warrior X pickup. An item that actually got buffed recently, so I'm happy to see it actually being built.
Oh, we are going to see Disco Ferry actually be walked into the tower there. Beads are going to be popped from Dave Skater. And does he pick up the kill? He doesn't, unfortunately. Disco Ferry does manage to walk away. He doesn't have those beads this time around, so he does have to be a little bit careful. But he does manage to get away there with the skin of his teeth. And Chiron pops the beads to see if he can actually kill the Cabrakan, and unfortunately it doesn't. So that could be something that maybe opts for Archie's, Dave's to look over towards this duo lane for a gank.
I was surprised that Kronos was able, like that Daves were able to be that far up, considering that Kronos is one of those ADCs who just isn't really able to ramp up a lot in the early game. Although with that Cabrakan, of course, you're gonna have that added pressure, and that might compensate for it actually.
Yeah, it definitely is, and Sands of Time is going to be picked up for Kronos, so he's going to have the additional cooldowns, but is he going to be able to box the Chiron? I don't think so.
Yeah. Also, something that we see on the Kronos is the immediate flat pen. So I think we are looking at a theme here.
Yeah, maybe Flatpen's making its return, and now we know about it for sure. But I mean, these players are all incredible players, so they're gonna know something that us stinky lower division players do not. But
That
we
is
are
true.
going to look towards pressure, and ultimate. The Powwow is going to come through, and the pull is going to come through as well. Tyromatize putting out a lot of damage, and Archie Baker picking up first blood for Daves onto Nikos.
Yeah, I think that was Mulan using her ult and not thinking about the consequences of that G coming in and being able to just
Here comes
yeah,
Archie
pull her
again.
back.
And Dash is going to come off, and a lot of poke here. Ravana's going to be forced to ult out of there and gets away with the skin of his teeth. It does give Dave's pressure in the middle lane, walking towards these mid-neutral camps. They want to fight this.
Yeah.
Platoma's going to dash into there, and he already does half of the Baba Yaga's HP and damage with his one.
Dave's definitely taking the reins more than they did last time in the early game. Being able to build more pressure and just play a bit higher up than last time.
We're speaking about pressure, and it's something that Nikos had in the last game. Obviously, picking up that solo first kill within the first minute and a half onto Tyromatize. But is he going to be able to do the same thing in this game? Because this Mulan, now she's level 6, is going to start hurting, and hurting a lot at that. But Mulan, not particularly known to be a very late game god. So maybe that gives Dave's a little bit more of an advantage as well if they can just drag this game out.
Yeah, something else that we're also seeing is that the Mulan is not building Soul Leader, an item that got nerfed in the last patch. So must be that that's just not worth it anymore in the build. Instead, opting for the Shillelagh, which I think is going to build out into a Blackthorn.
I would imagine it's going to be a Blackthorn, and that is very interesting to see that. Obviously, like you said, with Soul Eater getting that nerf, and we are going to see a rotation over towards the solo side of the map, and Ravana is going to be around. Ultimate's going to be popped from Tyromatize. He has that very long amount of CC immunity in that ultimate ability, and he's just going to dance himself away while 3 members of Archies walk over to him and he says, "You ain't doing nothing to me."
Yeah, that Shiva ult is just basically just a prolonged beats at that point, which is a really nice safety tool, but it's also a really good offensive tool. That Paolo just pulling 2 people back in the Cabrakan ults.
Archie
Yeah.
Baker is absolutely frying here. The Paula was on point, popped it early. Demon is also going to fall here, and the body blocks are absolutely on point from Dave's team here. They also pick up the blue invade. Archie picking up invades on the bikes. Platomi nearly soloing the Archie's mid laner here as well, and honestly, that was all round huge for Dave's. Putting them now 2,000 gold into the lead, picking up blue invades, picking up the invades on the backs, picking up invades on the scorpions, getting the neutral camps in mids, picking up 2 kills as well on top of it, and that is crucial for Dave's. It gives them now 2.5k and their own farm to collect still, and that puts them firmly in the running seat.
Mm-hmm. Tyr also, I think he's definitely feeling himself a lot more than last game. Being able to, well, not get soloed in that first minute, I think is gonna be helping a lot for the mental also.
Look, this man is on the staple Shiva pick, as I said. And this man, if he gets to do what he wants to do, is going to be a menace. Tyromata is obviously a very good player, and we're going to see what he can do on this pick in this upper division. And he currently has a 2-level lead, though, which is massive for him. We're also seeing a 1-level lead in the jungle. A lot of the gold swung in the direction of the jungle and solo for Dave's, which is very nice for them. And we're going to see Kronos opt to go into a Spirit Deso first.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to see a pause come through again. Unfortunately, it looks like Chiron is maybe lagging out. I think is what I am going to say.
I think so. Yes.
He is currently sat in a wall with brute minions attacking him, which is, I'm going to say, unfortunate.
It happens really. The thing that you just said about like the gold lead being way more with the solo and the jungle, I think it makes a lot of sense. They are fighting a lot on the solo side of the map. They have a lot of involvement in the kills that are falling there, like Tyromatized and Archie Baker currently having 100% kill participation, they are just making these kills happen and creating a lead like that. I'm definitely thinking that Tyromatize wants to start converting this lead that he has into the mid lane so that Ptolemy is going to be able to enjoy it with him.
Yeah, and something that's really surprising me here, and we are looking at the net worth charts, and that is Kronos being so high on the net value. Like, he's pretty much level with Archie here, and that is incredibly nuts.
Maybe he has been able to get Jimmy a few times.
You really don't want to call it Jimmy.
No.
Look, Jimmy is OP, and look, Disco picked up that Disco Ferry picked up that Stone of Binding again.
Yeah, I think, well, maybe he's onto something that we just don't know. It makes a lot of sense to pick up on CC heavy Guardians. It's kind of the same as those Manticore spikes, where if you're able to proc it, you're gonna be helping your team a whole lot. Cabracken being able to proc it on his one NS2 is just a very, very efficient item for him, I'm pretty sure. And the stats themselves are also not the worst, so I can see the value of the item pickup.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it gives you magical and physical procs, which is incredibly, incredibly nice. I'm sure it also gives you a small amount of damage and health.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's definitely a good item to pick up. And while we're on the terms of items, we're going to look at a couple of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be a Jotun's Rush from both of the junglers. That item obviously receiving a buff pretty recently.
It makes sense in my head, where you're looking at both of these junglers. They really want that cooldown. They really want the early power that it's gonna give, because it's a very cost efficient item.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense for them both to pick it up.
Archie actually made a rotation over to the duo side, and he's going to blink in here, and is going to maybe look as well, and he does dive the tower, and Powwow is going to be popped. Ultimate also comes through. That's a solo kill. Archie picks up that kill there onto Dave's skater. It's such good awareness from him to be able to do that. And this Platomi is doing absolute work here and actually managed to pick up the kill without expending the ultimate ability. Disco Ferry may be in trouble though on the other hand, because here comes Ravana, does manage to pick up that kill after popping the blink to get into the middle lane. There's a lot happening absolutely everywhere, and what I see is junglers frying, and mainly on the side of I would say Dave's, because that is 100% worth for them.
Yeah.
Platomi picking up a kill, and Archie Baker also putting this Kronos into an even bigger lead.
That kill from Archie also showed like a lot of discipline, waiting for the well, I'm blanking on him. The Chiron's dash to just run out and then use that 3, run into the tower, knowing that nothing was going to happen because he had that Paolo to just shield him from all of the damage.
Yeah, exactly that. And I mean, we're going to see a double flat pen build from the Kronos, and he's going to start to hurt a lot. But another thing that was noticeable just then was Tia invading the back camps of Archies while this is all happening.
Yeah, I think Tyr is taking revenge on Nikos. Nikos was doing this last game. I think Tyr is like, I am just showing that he is the better solo laner in this particular matchup, and just taking his back camps to prove it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's also going to look towards the blue buff, not going to be up, but he's now going to just opt to take the wave in between the towers and proxy farm here, and he knows that these bikes are coming onto cooldown again. We are going to see Ravana on the duo side of the map, and it's going to take them pretty. Oh my god, this Kronos just did a lot of damage, and he's going to pop that ultimate to walk, and he's going to actually try to 1v1 here. And here comes Archie, though, who is going to want to eat and does pick up a double kill on the other hand. And Platomi just again frying this Baba Yaga. Archie putting in so much work there. Home Sweet Home is going to be popped here from Baba Yaga, but Archie comes in. Triple kill for Daji. And Daves walks over towards the Golf Fury.
Yeah, that is the nice thing about that Chronos pick, right? Like, not only is it a very dangerous late game pick that can just pump out the damage, it is also a pick that can stall for a very good amount of time, so that that jungler can come over and just finish the kills that you're putting on a platter for them.
Yeah, honestly, you stole the words out of my mouth there by saying stall. I was literally thinking it, and you said it because he stalled for so long. Didn't even pop his beads, bro. He didn't even pop his beads,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Archie comes over and just eats. Now 6-0 because he then walks into mid lane. Platomi has so much pressure right now on this fourth, and he picks up another kill there, triple kill for Archie, who is absolutely fragging on this Darji, and we are going to see rotations again over to the duo lane, and Kronos is just going to pop that ult again, walk away.
Yeah. We also see Archie at this point 2 levels ahead, almost a full item ahead. That gold lead is going to be at this point immense, because also that triple kill, just the lead that he has.
We are going to see a ward popped onto the red buff of Dave's here, and Disco Ferry is just kind of walking at people on this Cabrakan now. Archie's going to look for a red buff invade, and Dave's have the wards there to do this sort of stuff. Red buff invade does come through. They are aware of where Archie is, but is it going to matter? No, it is not, because he's going to pop those beads and he's going to try to walk away. Disco Ferry is going to take the brunt of it because he's body blocked inside of a wall between 4 people, and I don't think that's a bad trade for Dave's, because like, yeah, they lose Kabrakan, but they don't lose their currently 6-0 Daji.
Yeah, I think that was also very like a very noticeable like trade of lives there, where it was just Disco Ferry running in, Archie seeing that as just the pressure relief that he needed.
Yeah, Archie kind of looked and said, "Look, you get me out here." Nikos is actually going to be blinked on by Tyromatize, who is going to look for this kill, and he is going to pick up the kill, even if he is 3v1 solo kill for Tyromatize. And is he going to get out alive? He actually picks up a double kill, and here comes Archie Baker popping that power, and does he pick up the kill onto Demon? He doesn't, but here comes Platomi. He isn't done yet. Here comes the final judgment. It is going to be popped, and it is off of the mark, unfortunately. But Tia managing to pick up the solo kill. He 3v1 in and just kind of walks away on 0 HP while Archie walks in and gets another kill.
Yeah, I think what you said, just Tyr being on that comfort pick, definitely benefiting him a lot here. You see that he's very good mechanically, also being able to 3v1 like we just saw, and getting out yeah, by a hair actually. But then Archie just seeing that Archie is absolutely on fire this game, I have to add. Just coming in very clutch with those ganks.
Yeah, he definitely is. And whilst all that was happening in the Tia just invaded that blue 2v1. I watched that. Tia just stole that blue 2v1. And that is massively unfortunate for Archies, because they're also going to lose their red buff as well. Because here comes Dafty Ducker on Kronos, 3 levels up. And I was going to say, while all that was happening on Archie's just going to look, okay, Archie,
I mean,
calm
he's
down.
just bullying them at this point. This is just, I think that's punishment page right there, actually.
Yeah, I do think that is punishment page worthy, but he is just gonna kind of eat right now because Platomi is looking a little bit low though, and Dave Skater is around on this Chiron, but he's currently 4 levels down. I don't think rotating is the right option for him right now.
Yeah, that's also the strength of that Toth pick right there. Just when you get a little lower, you can still take the distance and hit those marks because of the extended range on your
Tia's
ones.
looking for another solo kill here onto Nikos now. He is 2 levels up. We are going to see Dave's to walk to the Pyromancer and pick it up. And this gold lead is now looking, what, around 6,500 gold?
6.5. This is 9.5.
It is a lot of gold, yeah. It is now 9,000 gold. Whilst your fire alarm goes off, we are going to see Dave's look over towards this duo side of the map, and we may see something come to happen here because 3 members of Archies are around for this. Oracles are going to be confirmed, and I mean, with the leads that Dave has, if they try to force something such as a Fire Giant or a Oni Fury, I don't know if Archies are going to be able to stand there and play with them. But we do move on from that, and we are currently seeing leads in the jungle by 4 levels because Archie is just absolutely eating right now. We're seeing a 2-level lead in the solo lane as well, and again in the mid lane. Most noticeably, ADC being up by 4 levels. Dafty Ducker right now is on fire, and Tyromatize is going to get dove on in the solo side of the map, and here comes Kuzumbo as well. Ultimate is expended by Tyromatize, and he knows he is dead here. It's very unfortunate for him, but he wants to just give himself up here, and if he manages to pick up a kill onto Ravana, it's a bonus for him, but he doesn't. His team are just kind of going to walk Baba Yaga here, who takes a hell of a lot of damage, and Archie picking up another kill now, 8-0 on this Darji, absolutely frying right now. And as I was going to say, Dave's picking up the Oni Fury as well. It's beautiful for them as Dave's now start to run havoc, now nearing on an 11k gold lead. It's honestly crazy. They have the pressure with the Oni minions now, and with this Kronos just doing what he wants. And speaking of Kronos doing what he wants, we do see 2 people actually hovering around that Kronos on that duo side of the map. Ravana is going to be around. He gets a blink off, and that Polynomicon is absolutely frying right now, and he doesn't manage to get the ultimate off, and Dafty Ducker falls to Dave Skater there, and that is massive. That is massive for Dave. Actually picking up that kill there onto this Kronos, but I don't think Dave's want that to be it, because they're looking to fight still, and it gives Dave the time to just farm on the duo side of the map, deal with the trebuchet, deal with the Oni minions, and we are going to see Nikos actually dive in here. Disco Ferry is in a very good position. We are going to see Platomy to dash out of there, and Disco Ferry may fall, and he does. Here comes Archivo with the double kill, now Divine, and is it going to be a triple for him? It absolutely is. Ragnarok may be in trouble here, and Archie goes back in to pick up the quadra kill. Now 12-0. Doesn't opt to go for the Pentavo. Is very, very low, and that is absolutely huge for Dave's once again. Archie is eating right now. I am unsure if this man's fire alarm is still going off. I'm hoping everything is okay. But whilst he comes back, I'm just gonna keep on talking. I mean, right now, we're gonna talk about Dave's sheer lead that they have, and Archie 1 kill away from hitting that godlike in this second game of the set. Tyromatized invading the blue buff again of Archies, and Nikos is forced to pop his ult there because here comes Dafty Ducker, and he does a lot of damage. Final Judgment is going to be unfortunately off point, but here comes Tyromatized, and he isn't done just yet because his ultimate is popped. Platome is the bait though because he picks up the kill through the tower, and Tyromatized is putting in a lot of work right now, and I'm pretty sure that man just one shot a Baba Yaga. Ultimate is going to be popped by the Kuzumbo. It's not going to be enough though because Tyromatized does unfortunately fall, but Dafty's going to pick up a double kill there. Actually pops the ultimate to just get a little bit of his health back, but now he has this Polynomicon and this Pendulum with the Rod of Tahuti. He's doing so much, and I mean
Yeah.
so much.
Really good job there by Tyrannotizer's Daffy Ducker to go ahead and basically win that fight for Daves. I'm joining in, by the way. Hi.
You are joining in. I mean, we're looking at this right now, and we're seeing Dave's basically just run rampant on Archies. But do you see what they're doing right now?
Oh, I see exactly what they're doing. I've been the victim of this in many in-houses, honestly, and it's terrifying. But luckily, oh, there's so many Nikos.
No, not Nikos, bro. Final judgment is on point, and does Nikos walk out?
Nikos works
Dave's
out,
picks up a kill, bro.
and Daffy Ducker goes down. Wow.
Maybe Dave, Disco Ferry does as well.
Yeah, that's little bit of trauma by Dave's. They've been doing really well this game, though. In contrast to game one, they've just really taken over.
Yeah, they really took over in comparison to game one, which was incredibly close. But now Dave's skater on this Chiron is level 20 after being down by 4 levels.
Yeah, he's caught up after all those DCs and whatnot. He is caught up in levels. And, well, he's
maybe
ready.
maybe his ping isn't on like 500 anymore.
Maybe he's came back from Paris.
Maybe he did come back from Paris. We're not going to see a great deal of stuff happening right now around the map. All of the objectives available for both teams. I mean, Dave's obviously still have this 11,000 gold lead, which is going to be noticeable because it's pretty much a full item between everybody, right?
I didn't catch that. What do you say?
I'm saying Dave's have a big lead.
Dave's have a fat league, a Thickums league. In fact, an 11,500 gold lead. Wow. That is a lot of gold and a lot of XP, 14,000. But that doesn't really matter too much, although Davros is ridiculously low right now, level 17.
Yeah, and we are going to see Tyrannotized just try to solo Nikos here. And Dave Skater is around though, and Tyrannotized wants these hands. He's going in. Ultimate's going to be popped, and Dave's in trouble.
Oh my word.
Aegis is going to be popped. Beads are also going to be popped. And Viol,
Oh my
Platomi
word.
picks up a double kill. Tyrannotized was just a bait. Dafty picking up a kill as well onto Kuzumbo. And here comes Disco Ferry because he ain't done. Picking up a kill onto Ravana. What just happened?
My words, Tyrannotized did so much work there. Nico's just watching him batter down his ADC. And like, wow, Tyrannotized, are we gonna start seeing UD banning out his Shiba? Like, getting a bit ridiculous here. Just F6?
Did they,
They surrendered. They thought there's no way back into this game. We got a Fed G. Shiba's popping off. Economy's just doing work. There's no way we can get back into this game, and they've just forfeited.
they said they just said it's game, we're over because Tia's on 32,000 damage. He just 2v1'd against the other team's solo laner and ADC and said, "What are you gonna do about it?" And like, out comes Archie. Unfortunately, 1 kill off of that godlike there, doing an incredible amount of work in that early game, but overall, it's going to be a forfeit for Archers in that second game, and Dave's picking up a 2-0 victory in this set.
Yeah, it's a shame to see people, surrender games, but I guess they just had enough for the internet connection issues that Dave Skater may have had. You know, they just thought, it's this game's unsavable. Let's just end it here, basically.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate to see teams think that, because no matter what, there's always a way to hold
Always
out
a
a game.
way.
Or
Always.
yeah, there's always a way. We all know that we've been in that situation where you've had 3 Phoenixes down and still won the game, and there's not a better feeling than that. Unfortunately,
Guess
not
who's
thinking.
back? It is the Cookie
Yo.
Monster. Let's go.
Oh my god,
I,
he's back.
Yeah.
Are you
my
on fire?
room's only slightly charred, so it's fine.
Are you on fire? What's going on?
Yeah, no, just somebody showered with their door open and that triggered the fire alarm for some reason.
That's a hot bloody shower. Wow.
Yeah, I saw the F6. I'm kind of shocked.
Yeah, honestly, Tia just started eating. 31k. He basically solo killed the ADC and the solo laner of Archies.
Yeah. Tyromata is definitely proving then that he's supposed to be in UD, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Tyromatized, open bracket, UD, close bracket.
Wow, really good job there by Daves. Really, game one, it was a close game, but then game two just really grabbed the game by its balls, and just
Yeah.
got in there and just took the game easily, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, after that first game, it was questionable. Maybe this game goes to a game 3. And then this just happens. Dave's came out after the first game and said, yeah, we ain't making this one close.
Just really impressive performance by everyone in Dave's. Honestly, Dappy Dark are doing work. Archie Baker, obviously, just popping right off in that last game. Disco Ferry doing work, sacrificing himself, his life, in order to keep Archie Baker ahead. Tyromatized doing Tyromatized things. We saw that last season in lower division. He was just doing his thing, just bullying people and getting away with it. Toponymy, just hitting those fourth abilities, every now and then, just does the job really. Yeah, really good job all around by Daves, and they take this 2-0 victory, which obviously is going to make them pretty high up in that table. We'll see how other fixtures go as we get through this week, but right now they're looking pretty nice up there in the league table.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree, and that win's definitely going to give them some sort of confidence going forward into the coming weeks and coming into the mid-season tournament as well.
That is the last game before mid-season tournament. So yeah, we see how they seed into that mid-season tournament. See if it gives them a favourable spot against a team they may have already beaten. Maybe it'll give them someone that's, and maybe Archies will be going up against a team that they really don't want to be facing against. We'll see how that goes when we get to it. Do you want to end us off here?
I mean, other than saying GG's to both teams here, Dave's obviously coming out with the tour. Unfortunate for Archies after surrendering that second game. Archie Baker, Uwu, it's been a good one. And Cookie, thank you for not maybe burning your house down.
I'm trying.
Look, you are in fact trying. I'm going to say thank you to Printers on Production. I'm going to say thank you to Cookie on my chair too. And we're going to say we will look forward to seeing you in the next one.
See ya.
Years are passing by and all I think about is when we were new school. Flipping off police, drinking beers underage in a swimming pool. But times have changed and we're old now. I think our heat's getting cold now. And now I'm just in love with your cold shoulder.
Bro.
Well, wait just a second. We have player interviews, surely.
Whoa, what is this?
Yo,
I forgot that this was live.
it's been a while since we had anyone that wants to interview.
We need the goats in the chat
Go to
so we
team
can
one.
ask the questions.
It's been so long since the actual live stream, so we gotta come in here and yeah.
Yeah, the boys
gotta-
think
we
we were
gotta do an
gone.
interview.
Yeah, the boys really thought we were gone, but
Really
here come the
thought-
interviews.
Yeah, we got one more just coming in. The boy. Hello, Cheeto.
Hello.
Ask him some questions.
Ask them some questions. Who do we have in here? We have your
Two
boy
on the
Archie
first-
Baker and the bigger boy Tyromatized.
Hi.
Oh, how are we after that game?
Accelerated, honestly. I get to play Shiva in both divisions. I'm so happy.
You do get to play Shiva in both divisions, mate. And in the draft, I did honorably mention that pick. I'm very happy to see you pop off on that pick. Honestly, as a whole, your team in that second game looked so much better than you did in the first game. After an absolute banger of the first game, honestly, it looked really close. What was getting said between you all between the games for you to go out in that second and just absolutely stomp?
I mean, Archie can vouch that I said from second one, no Seagull, no W.
Yeah, we just knew they didn't have Seagull playing, so we knew it'd be quite an easy win, and
Uh-huh.
that's it.
Yeah, and I mean it's a very strong performance from both of you. Archie yourself, 1 kill off of that godlike, and the other team clearly not wanting to give it to you. Like what is your feeling about this team wanting to forfeit that second game?
It's unfortunate. Like, I always prefer to close games out. It feels nice to kill the Titan in like a close set, but at the same time, there's 10 people playing the game. Like, if 5 of them don't want to play, it's fine. Like, you gotta kind of do what everyone wants to do as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice that you respect the other team, and something that's going to be mentioned is respect on tier. Moving up from the lower division up to here in the higher division, and how are you currently feeling about your play in the upper division?
I mean, I'd like to say I'm confident. I'm probably not like super confident yet like I was back in lower division, but from the games I've played, I definitely feel like I can perform to the standard, and it feels good playing with my team, so I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, you guys are definitely looking good, and this obviously being the final game going into the mid-season tournament. Hopefully, you get a good role in the bracket for yourselves. And do you have anything you'd like to say to us in regards to mid-season tournament?
I don't know, no Seagull, no W. That's for every team, by the way.
No Seagull, no W. You now know the strat.
Yes.
We are giving it all away from you. But other than that, we're going to round off this player interview. Thank you, both of you, for joining us here.
No man, thanks for a
GG's.
wonderful cast.
Yeah, thanks for your time on the cast.
Look, we're trying. Cookie didn't say his house.
Cause we fight and then we make love. We break up and then we 2 o'clock and now we're day drunk. Love it when we hate fuck. Nobody can change us. Love it when we hate fuck. Nobody can change us. Love it when we hate fuck. Nobody can change us. I cannot fall asleep without you by my side, but when you're here I'm all cold. Yeah, we got something special, but I cannot be the main act in a role. Tell me what you gonna do when they catch us, when they pull out big guns and they blast us. The final end to our mad love, mad love. Cause we fight and then we make love. We break up and then we 2 o'clock and now we're day drunk. Love it when we hate fuck. Nobody can change us. When we dance and then we fall hit the speed and then we slow down. 2 o'clock and now we're day drunk. Love it when we hate fuck. Nobody can change us. Love it when we hate fuck. Nobody can change us. Love it when we hate fuck. Nobody can change us. Cause we fight and then we make love. We break up and then we 2 o'clock and now we're day drunk. nobody can change us.